Okay, I mentioned we have some famous aircraft in this museum. This is perhaps arguably one of the most famous in the World War II exhibit. This is not a plane similar to the one that dropped the bomb on Japan at the end of the war. This is the plane that dropped the bomb on Japan at the end of the war. It dropped the second atomic bomb. The first atomic bomb dropped was called Little Boy, for obvious reasons. The plane you see behind you actually dropped the bomb called Fat Man. And that's the yellow bomb you see behind us. These bombers had to be modified in order to carry all that weight and drop the bomb. Of course, the other thing I'd like you to think about is when these pilots were flying this mission, they didn't exactly know what was going to happen when the bomb went off. By that I mean they didn't know how big it was going to be. There's people that said it would destroy the atmosphere and burn up all of the planes for thousands of miles. They had no real way of knowing for sure. It was all estimate theory. So when they dropped this bomb, what they had to do was immediately turn and fly as fast as they could away from the bomb, not really being sure if they were far enough or going to get far enough away. So it was a very risky mission. Yes, there's actually a photograph of it he's showing you. This is our model demonstration. He's showing us where the bomb painting is. There's actually some of the flares and some of the goggles they wore in one of the cases. But this plane was, of course, very significant. The first bomb was dropped by a plane called the Enola Gay. This is Boxcar. This one dropped the one that ended the war. It took two bombs because the first bomb, the Japanese didn't believe it was truly one bomb. They thought it was a firebombing rig. They didn't want to believe it. It wasn't until their cabinet people went to Hiroshima and noticed the damage and then came back, and then the next bomb was on Nagasaki. So you'll notice there's some artwork on the side that says Salt Lake to Nagasaki. The first bomb we ever dropped in practice was in Nevada. And then the bomb this was dropped was in Nagasaki. And a little poignant part of the story is the plane or the ship that delivered these bombs to Okinawa, where we could put them on the planes, that actual ship was a cruiser. And where's our people from Indianapolis? I know there's a couple of you. Indianapolis? Okay, well the ship that actually carried these atomic bombs to our base, to put them onto the planes, was called the USS Indianapolis. And unfortunately, it was on a secret mission to take these atomic bombs to the base. So when it got there and it was on its return, it was sunk by a Japanese submarine, and the crew, most of the crew were killed by sharks because they were on radio silence and no one knew they were missing until 2 more days went by. Very few of them were rescued. But the story of the USS Indianapolis is a very sad part of the story. But the part of the mission of them delivering these weapons to be used was their success. So they helped end the war. Without those atomic bombs, millions more people would have died. So at that point in history, they said, let's drop the bomb and end the war and not make more civilians suffer and more. Up to 1 million U.S. casualties were expected. Yeah, question?